This week, we are coming at you live from Kansas City Retro 2025, talking all things retro and all things video games. Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse. Warning.
Red alert.
Danger, Will Robinson! Danger!
That's the emergency alert.
This episode is full of spoilers for some of the latest and greatest nerdy movies and shows.
Spoilers.
Listener discretion is advised. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse podcast. I'm Billie Taylor, and this week we are hanging out at KC Retro down in the heart of Kansas City. This event is going to be so much fun. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. We've got a ton of retro games and consoles that you can find. We've got collectibles, Pokemon cards. If it's a retro collectible thing that you are into, you're going to be able to find it here. And this weekend, we're going to sit down with a handful of people and talk about video games and collections and some really cool stuff. So sit back and relax and enjoy our time at KC Retro. All right, you guys, we're sitting here at KC Retro with Nate himself. Nate, how's it going, man?
It's going well. I wanted to hop on and get like a in-game commentary.
Yeah. So this part we're recording right now, we're about getting towards 2/3 way through with day one. And how are you feeling about it?
I was very nervous yesterday, and as I always am before a show. I feel like not getting to the right amount of marketing that I'd like to have seen. So I think that might have been part of the nervousness, but we had a good showing this morning.
Yeah.
And people are still filing in. If you are listening to this, you missed it. I'm sorry. The FOMO is real.
Yeah, now, man. I know it's been an awesome event. I took a little time to walk around the floor. There's a lot of great vendors, a lot of games and cards and collectibles and all kinds of great stuff. And that's just the downstairs floor. And a highlight for me was you guys have a tattoo artist doing live tattoos. And I got in her line over there, and to keep it real obscure and video game related, I got a tattoo of my son's favorite Pokemon, the Lawnmower Form Rotom Pokemon, and it looks pretty sweet. But yeah, man, it's been a blast, and this is just day one. What are you guys looking forward to that hasn't quite happened yet?
You know, I'm really looking forward to sitting and watching some more Tetris. That was my really amazing get. I think I went to Portland Retro Gaming, and they have, for the longest time, it had the World Championships there at the CTWS. Is that right? CTSW? Some acronym that I can't remember. But no, it's cool to see it's in Kansas City, and it's cool that the people here are supporting it, and that we have one of the top players in the country. I mean, not the top. I mean, I think he's really close. Blue Scuti.
Yeah.
He's from Oklahoma, so it's a short drive for him.
That's awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about what all gaming do you guys have going on up there right now?
So level 1 has some teachable. They have like a catalog of things that you can do. So you can go up there and say, hey, I want to do this, this, or this, and look at what they have, and they'll show you. They'll get a group of people together, and they'll have someone judge it or someone come there and teach it. And then it's one of the main things there. Then we have Meeple-a-thon here. It has a few tables upstairs in the mezz that they're doing paint and takes. So you paint a RPG character. The first one's free. You get to take home a character. They'll show you how to paint it and do all that jazz with the artist there. It's great. I sat down there for 5 minutes and talked to the lady there, and I can't remember her name, but shout out to Meeple-a-thon.
That's awesome. So I know you're kind of behind the scenes, but out here on the floor, is there anything you're looking for this year? What are you looking for?
You know, I have a problem. I buy Pokemon packs.
Yep. Have you ran into some good ones yet? I
bought some Black Bolt, which is a new set, and then I bought a mixture of Paradox Rift and what else? There were a bunch of really terrible cards, though I got nothing. And look, an R2 unit is coming up, an Astromech.
Very nice, very nice.
It's passing us as we speak.
Yeah, my son, my one role that he gave me was to please get him some Pokemon cards. So I got to do that before I leave.
Well, what I would do is buy singles, don't buy packs.
Okay.
Don't buy packs because it's gambling for kids.
Yeah.
And adults alike.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, I look forward to what's to come the rest of today and tomorrow. And yeah, I'm excited to talk to some people. And for those of you guys listening, like you said, if you're listening to this episode, it's a little too late. So put it on your calendar for the next go around to go to KC Retro. It's always a good time.
Thank you, Billy.
I'm in. All right, you guys. Now we are sitting here with Jay from Game Chasers. Jay, how you doing, man?
I am doing very well. How are you, sir?
Doing pretty good. So we've had you on the show before in the past, and
Yes.
for our listeners who maybe they're new to the area here, new to listening, let them know what you do.
So I have a YouTube show called The Game Chasers, and essentially what it is American pickers, but with video games. So we travel the country, going to flea markets, garage sales, estate sales, conventions like where we are now, KC Retro, and just look for video games.
That's awesome. So since you've been on before, tell us, what have you been up to the last year, man?
Oh gosh, last year. Well, I recently moved. I was in the same place for 15 years. And it's wild because as I'm packing up, I'm finding things I hadn't seen in 12 years. I'm finding things that I was like, when did I get that? So as I'm unpacking, I've been downsizing a little bit. I've got three stacks going, like display I want to keep, but too big to display. And then do I really need this around if I haven't seen it in 5 to 10 years? So I'm that's kind of my life right now.
Nice. So okay, if you had to think back on this past year, what's maybe your top couple or 2 or 3 favorite things you found?
That's a good question.
Or at least ones that stand out.
Right. See, when I go thrifting and stuff, it's not just video games. It's just anything kind of nerd culture stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I've been big on VHS lately.
Oh, nice.
Big on VHS lately. And I always have been, but now VHS is actually starting to trend and get popular and whatnot. So VHS and vinyl.
That's awesome.
Cassette tapes, actually. That's another one.
It's funny, as things progress with technology and everything, when VHS shifted to DVD, shifted to streaming.
Right.
With each shift, though, there's still a handful of favorites that I've had to hang on to.
Right. No, of course.
For me, it's kept all the Star Wars, kept all the Back to the Future, all that. My dad, for the longest time, had VHSs of Star Trek The Next Generation, which means it was countless VHS tapes, to keep up.
Because they had 1,700 movies or something like that. Right. Another thing is I'm more focused on G.I. Joe. I've always been a G.I. Joe fan, but I'm more focused on G.I. Joe right now more than ever. So it's not even... I'm not going to say I'm not focused on video games, because I am.
Right.
I love video games. I still play video games. But my focus has kind of shifted towards other, again, nerd culture things. Cassette, G.I. Joe, vinyl, VHS. So that's kind of where I am right now.
Speaking of video games, is there anything new you've been playing this past year? Keeping you busy?
MLB The Show 2025. I'm a huge baseball fan, huge Cubs fan, so I get that every year. I just picked up, I'm trying to think of what the newest thing I got was, the Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remake. Huge Tony Hawk fan. I love Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
It was kind of, who made that? Dream Realms, I think. They did the Halloween and Evil Dead kind of combo pack. It was like kind of like 16-bit. So I played that. I just started. It's been like 2 months, and this is how little time I have right now. Destroy All Humans 2 remake on PS5.
Oh, nice.
So I love Destroy All Humans.
This is so random. Do you remember back maybe in the early 2000s when if you bought a box of Chex cereal, you got that game called Chex Quest?
I don't remember that, actually.
Oh, man. Well, the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch shop put Chex Quest from the early 2000s for like $4. And so for me, that's my blast from the past right now that I've been playing through.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, if you got $4 to spend and some time to kill, Chex Quest.
Chex Quest.
Crazy.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, okay, so speaking of what you guys do and everything, I know that, your partner in crime, Billie's been going through some stuff. How's he doing, man?
He is doing as well as he can be doing given the situation.
Yeah.
I know I'm not saying a lot, and I know, I mean, I'm getting asked daily, and even today I've had 4 or 5 messages. But I saw him 2 days before I came out here to Kansas City, and I was like, hey, do you want to make any updates, this and that, blah, blah, blah. He goes, well, I was going to wait till I had something to update. And I'm like, okay, then when you do a video, then I'll do an update. But he has a tumor. For those of you who don't know, a brain tumor. I'll say this, it is cancerous, and I don't think he's put that out there yet. There is a plan, and there is a surgery date set, and a plan for after all that. And that's all I'm going to say right now.
I gotcha.
But again, I saw him 2 days ago. Wood from Beat 'em Ups actually came into town, that was last Friday, and I think he just went home yesterday. So between Wood, me, and Rob, Order 42, small channel, but I'm known to do longer than Billie, actually.
Yeah.
And Billie's known him longer than me.
Yeah.
We're going up there as much as we can. He's in good spirits, we're joking. But I think he needs me and like his boys around, because we're going to give him medicine that his family isn't. They're obviously concerned about him, but they're not going to go, hey, get up and like do the thing, and that's kind of where we're coming in with him, and I really think he needs it, and I think it's helping. But he's healthy, he's young-ish, he's 47, so I think if anybody who has a brain tumor, I think he's in the best position at his age, at his health, all of that to beat it. So we're definitely staying optimistic.
And he's got some good people in his court pushing him through, man.
For sure. Oh, and if you guys listening, like all the comments on the updates and on the videos and everything, he's reading all of that, and I promise you it is going so far with him. He is seeing all that, and he really, really, really appreciates it all.
Awesome. Well, all of us over here at the Taylorverse, man, we're sending him all the good vibes we possibly can, so.
Good, he needs it. Whatever your thing is, if you're a prayer warrior, then do the thing. If you're just sending out, good chakra out into the universe room, then like do the thing. So he definitely needs it right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, what's on the horizon for Game Chasers in the near future, man?
Oh, man. Well, as soon as this idiot kicks cancer, we're just going to get back out there and just keep doing it, honestly. I think we're starting to shift a little bit into not just games, but more nerd culture stuff.
Yeah.
In the last few episodes, I think that is shown, which I love, and I've been saying that for about 5 or 6 years now. Like, hey, there's so much more to nerddom than just game, and he knows that.
Yeah.
But Billie does all the editing, and Billie's going to put out what Billie wants to put out, right? But why not show vinyl pickups? Why not show cassette tapes? Why not show? We're going to keep the toy thing separate because that's its own show.
Yeah.
But I think we need to transition into a different direction, a slightly different direction, because now we're coming up on, like, what's retro now? GameCube?
Right.
Wii maybe, right?
Yeah.
That came out in what, 01?
Right.
That's 23 years ago, 24 years ago at this point.
Yep.
For us, that's not our retro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I stood in line for 2 days to get a Wii.
Yeah.
at Walmart. So we're I think we need to transition. I think we need to change up a little bit just to keep it interesting, personally.
Right. I think I've mentioned before, I'm a high school teacher, and when my kids at school talk about, the classic music and stuff, and they start saying stuff that does not sound so classic to me.
Don't say it. I know what you're going to see. Classic to me, classic oldies is 50s, 60s.
Yep.
Classic is 70s.
Yep.
But now 80s are oldies.
Yeah.
For this generation of high schooler, 80s are oldies. And I hate to say it because it's admitting you're getting old, but we're getting old. We're getting old.
Total sidebar here. The kids were talking about the movie Shrek, and they're like, what's that classic song, the Smash Mouth one? I'm like, oh my gosh.
Hey now, you're an also classic? Oh my gosh.
I know. It's so old.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well,
all right. What's going on with you? What's the last year been like for you?
Oh man, we've had some cool stuff going on. Like the listeners know, I'd say back in February and March, had the chance to interview some really cool folks. We had all 4 voice actors from the 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We had April O'Neil from the same show.
Okay. So Brian Tochi, Robbie Wrist. Who are the other two?
Or
you talking about the cartoon or the movie?
The cartoon.
Oh, okay. Different cast altogether.
Yeah, Rob Paulson, Cam Clark, Barry Gordon,
Rob Paulson
and
was Pinky and the Brain.
Also, yep. He's like 1,000 things.
Yeah, he's a million things.
Who was the other one? Townsend Coleman. That's Michelangelo. And then Renee Jacobs, April O'Neil.
You know what? I knew that. As soon as you said it, it clicked. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that.
We had I don't know if you were into Star Trek: The Next Generation. We had Dr. Crusher and Q, and man, it's just been a fun year doing this podcast.
Good. That's good.
Well, hey, I really appreciate you stopping by.
No
and
problem.
Remind our listeners, where can they find you? Out on YouTube and social media and things like that?
All social media Game Chasers related is the Game Chasers. That's YouTube. You can Google search or YouTube search it. Excuse me. Same with Instagram, all that stuff. My personal channel is the Shady J Show. I do random, just whatever I want. Movie reviews, food reviews, just all kinds of whatever, So, but that is the Shady J Show on YouTube.
Awesome. So you just said food review. This food truck out here, I had some teriyaki chicken fries.
Did you have the pizza yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the pizza was good.
I told my wife, I texted her as soon as I took the first bite, I said, I don't want to be dramatic, but I think I just had some of the best pizza I've ever had.
It's good. The pizza was good yesterday. It's not here today. I think there's
know.
a chicken
chicken guy and
place
yeah.
I'm gonna go out there and eat in a minute, but yeah, the pizza yesterday was good.
So good. So off topic, but so good. All right, man. Well, thanks so much for stopping by.
Of course.
And good luck with this next year to come. I'm sure we'll see you again in the future.
I hope so.
Awesome. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it, man.
Okay, guys, we are now sitting here with Adam Corlick, man. How's it going? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and
I will. Hey, everybody. My name's Adam Corlick. So I am a YouTuber. I have been on the scene. I just celebrated my 16th anniversary on YouTube. I'm OG. In YouTube years, I am geriatric. I'm basically dead. But I've been covering video game stuff for the majority of that time, retro video gaming stuff. I don't play games on the channel. That's a common question that we're asked, when you explain to your parents or whatever what it is you do. And people are like, oh, he plays video games. No, I've been covering the history of video games. And not only talking about the history of one specific console, but getting into obscure consoles. And then talking about bizarre releases. For example, here at the show with me, upstairs I have the Sega Pluto prototype, which was one of only 2 ever created. It was made by Sega. It's an upgraded version of the Sega Saturn with a built-in modem, built-in hard drive. First console in history with a hard drive. And it's here at Kansas City Retro, just
That's
upstairs
awesome.
in the museum section. So I have a large collection of stuff like that. But I've been doing videos like that for years, as well as cleaning tutorials and just all sorts of whatever on all things retro gaming. Pretty much everything other than actually sitting down and be like, guys, let's play a game together.
Right.
I never do that part. But I'm like, I'm never going to compete with speedrunners and those guys, those MLG gamers. So just I'll stick in my lane. But as far as Kansas City Retro and everything goes, I believe this is my 4th or 5th year that they've had me out as a guest to this.
Nice.
And it's really cool to come back. I think this is our first time meeting.
Yes, it is.
So
Yeah.
I'm double jointed. You guys can't see it.
Backwards
but
handshake
look how
here.
weird this looks to you.
Yep.
Does this freaking you out? I'm
A little
double jointed, so I can shake my hand in this weird chicken wing deal. Yeah. But yeah, it's nice meeting you. But that's in a nutshell. It's me, retro video game YouTuber. I also do a traveling channel where I go all over the world and I cover that and tourism guides, stuff like that. I mean, I've been doing other stuff over the years. I've done a lot of voiceover in video games. Oh, okay, a lot of indie games and stuff like that. But I used to work with Machinima, if anybody remembers them. And I was even, one of my more obscure pieces of reference here is for anybody who's old enough to remember the series Chad Vader. Darth Vader's brother who runs a grocery store. I was in that show for a while, worked on that for 2 seasons. So I'm just in a bunch of random stuff.
That's awesome. So if you think back to how long you've been into this world of video games and everything, thinking back, what got you in? What were the things you played first when you started this whole...
Is the question what got me into YouTube or what got me into games?
First games, and then I'll get back to YouTube.
Okay, the first game I ever played in my entire life was Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
I was at my cousin's house for Thanksgiving. They had just gotten a Super Nintendo, and I'm looking at the screen, and I'm just like, I had seen a video game before. The first game I ever saw was Paperboy on the NES,
Yep.
but I was too young for my cousins to let me play it. But by Super Mario World time, I'm just looking at the screen in awe, and I'm just like, I want to do that. And, and so they hand me the controller, and I play the very first level. I don't know what I'm doing, so I press run forward, and I just immediately hit the first, turtle and die, and I cried and, pooped my pants or whatever.
Right.
And I was only, 38 at the time, so it was in Britain. No. I was probably, 3 or whatever when that happened. I don't remember. But that was the first game I ever played, and I just knew I wanted more of that. And so I'm begging my mother at the time, give me a Super Nintendo or give me a Sega Genesis. Those are the 2 that were popular at that point.
Yeah.
And my mom, being kind of that era mother, she was like, all video games are the same. So she gave me an old Atari 2600 she had laying around. So I'm sitting there that amused me for a little bit.
Yeah.
But the big problem was you'd go to school, all your friends are talking about Mortal Kombat, Donkey Kong, Sonic, Mario, and you're like, hey, I got I got Space Invaders. Like, nobody knows what they're talking about. It's like, it was socially embarrassing. But eventually, Christmas of '93, Santa brought me a Model 2 Sega Genesis, bunch of games, and it was just all Sega fanaticism ever since. You guys can't see it, but I'm wearing a Sega brand shirt.
Yep.
It's got like every console they ever made. Actually, Sega themselves gave this to me
That's
as a
cool.
promo item back in 2019. I used to work with them around 2018, 2019 for the Shenmue re-release, and occasionally I've done some influencer stuff for them. That's why I know so much about the Pluto, because they told me, they're like, wait, you have it? Oh, okay, we'll tell you. They were happy to find out about it. But that would be the origin of my love for video games.
Nice. Well, let's see. I know you don't really do videos of yourself playing games, but
No.
what are you currently playing?
The last thing I played, actually, I was just playing this last week, was there is now a build of Mario Kart 64 for the Dreamcast.
Okay.
It's a fan created project. I believe the developer's name is I want to say J.N. Martin. I apologize to him if I got his name wrong. He, through just the sheer will of genius, was like, I can find a way to make that run on the Dreamcast through, I believe it's through emulation technically, but he basically mastered it, minus a few like audio issues, which I think he's still working on. He's still, now his next one he's working on Star Fox 64, bringing that to the Dreamcast. So that's what I was playing most recently, just as happenstance goes.
That's awesome. Well, on the YouTube side of things, tell us a little bit about your origins there. What got you into that, and how'd you get started?
So in high school, I was the freak of nature kid who actually knew what he wanted to do with his life.
Yeah.
Halfway through freshman year, I was assigned to this project, a scene in Romeo and Juliet. Just you guys have to film it. And every group in our class broke up into teams of like 4. And most kids' projects were like, they stand in a room and they just look at a piece of paper and just read their script. And for myself and my buddies, I was like, we should do this like more interestingly. So like one of our guys is like, yeah, I'm actually into like early special effects. And we're talking like 2001. Like nobody had this capacity, but he did. And I was like, well, if you can do that, then maybe we can be more creative about it. So we had the scene where Tybalt is pursuing Mercutio, and he ultimately kills him. Spoilers, if you don't know Romeo and Juliet. But so in our version, we just changed their name slightly because one of the kids was named Tim, so we called him Timbolt, and whatever, it doesn't matter. But he's chasing him, and we kept doing like music and references, and we get to special effects, and we had, at this point, it was 2001, so it was only 8 years removed from the launch of Power Rangers, and we realized we had the capacity to do like a morphing sequence. So Tybalt morphs into like a Power Ranger, and they just fight it out. Like, anyway, so we air this. It's like hilarious. People love it. But the teacher had us go first. And like as soon as it was over, the other kids, like immediately, the next kid pulled up. The kid goes, Miss Miller, how are we supposed to follow that? Like everything. We just read our scripts on screen in one take. These guys put it in real work. Anyway, so I kind of fell in love. I was like, maybe there's something to this. Maybe I'm good at this. So for the next 3.5 years of high school, I just wasted my time just trying to get out of high school. Went to Columbia College, Chicago for film and video. Went through that whole process. And out of it, I started working on projects and everything I could get my hands on. But I wanted to make content because at the time, YouTube was a relatively new thing. And short films and all that sort of stuff takes forever to get done. You're never going to build a fan base out of that. So I was like, naively, I thought, if I make videos and just have fans, they'll watch my other projects when the time comes, which, by the way, is not how that works. But I didn't know that. So I was like, what can I make content of? And I love video games. So I was like, I know what? I can talk a lot. I'll talk about video games. I started talking about Dreamcast accessories is where I started doing that. And that kind of picked up, and then it became just talk about that. Forget about your other projects. And then I started making a career out of it. I was getting paid to do this. I'm like, I get paid to talk about my hobby, and I get to travel. They're gonna take me to stuff. This is amazing. Why doesn't everybody do this? Now everybody tries to do this. The only advantage I had is I was there first.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Well, tell our listeners listening, where can they find you out there on YouTube and any social media and anything like that?
It's Adam Corlick everywhere. Adam Corlick on YouTube, Adam Corlick on Facebook, Twitter, well, X, whatever, Instagram. It's Discord. My Discord's free. It's cool. We got a good community in there. My travel channel, if you want to check that out. That's more of a pet project I just enjoy doing. So you might appreciate this. I did a video on the history of the atomic bombings, including the science, the physics of like the chemical reactions for plutonium and uranium, etc. And in order to do that video my way, I literally flew to every relevant location on this planet. So I went to Hiroshima and filmed in all those spots. I went to Nagasaki and filmed in all those spots. I went to Tinian Island where the bombers took off. I went to where the Enola Gay is in DC. I went to where the boxcar is in Oregon. I mean, I went to the nuclear facilities in both Washington and Tennessee to get footage for this.
That's awesome.
I went everywhere. So point is, that channel, I do a lot of history discussion and things like that, traveling. So you can get tips on where you're going, but you can also just like learn something, which I know is never fun, but whatever, it is fun. It's fun to learn.
It's fun, guys.
It's fun to learn. But yeah, no, that, and then occasionally you'll see video game stuff over there too.
Cool. And same thing, just look up Adam
Yeah,
Corlick.
that one's called Flying and Eating with Adam Corlick, but yeah, my
Okay.
name's attached to the
Awesome.
Or Adam Eats the World sometimes comes up.
Well, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, thanks for stopping by for a minute and
My
telling us
pleasure.
a little bit about what you do, and hopefully our listeners will jump on it and go find your stuff, man. It sounds really cool.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, guys. You guys might remember from last year, we had a visitor named 16-Bit Pete, and he is joining us again, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thanks for coming by. Well, for any of our new listeners who maybe they weren't around last year, tell us a little bit about what is it that you do?
So I like to make kind of like funny vids, like when I'm not vlogging at conventions. Back in 2017, I put together a portable Nintendo 64 using like a rear view backup camera monitor, the 64. Then I just, I didn't have a 3D printer back then. Now they're like super cheap. Back then they were kind of really expensive. But so what I did was I used liquid gack and hot glue, and I just kind of went around it. The thing looked terrible, but it worked. It was a fully functional portable console, and people seemed to really like it. It did really well on YouTube. I did like a little portable NES. I used a lot of weld for it. I just went about, started restoring old consoles back to their former glory, and it's kind of how people know me from, and it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Well, tell our listeners, this past year, since we've talked last, what have you been up to, man?
I got back into collecting, mostly Game Boy stuff from the 90s and whatnot. A few Japanese stuff, like the imported Game Boy games. And I'll tell you what, like, the artwork compared to like the US labels is 10 times better in Japan. Yeah, they got us beat on art. Yeah, and it's also a lot cheaper to collect for too, if you know the right people. Like General Malice is here. Like he's got a whole bunch of stuff from Japan that he brought over, and it's really cool. You meet other people in different communities that like the same stuff you do, and like these conventions in general, like you always meet new people and people that watch your content too that you put out, and and it's like each year it's something new, it's something better, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. So with these games that you're currently collecting, do you just collect or do you actually play through some of them? Or
Yeah, so a lot of them are the ones I had like as a child, and I wasn't always good at video games growing up until I got older, so like I'm able to go back, beat these games that I couldn't as a kid.
Right.
And it's pretty cool,
Currently, what's your favorite one to play through right now?
There's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game called Fall of the Foot Clan. It's got 5 stages, but they're pretty long stages, and it's got that awesome theme song from the cartoon that everyone knows, and it's just a lot of fun to play that. Because I just remember it just for that theme song as a kid, because it was my parents ended up getting me headphones because it was driving them crazy during car rides and stuff. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. So.
That's awesome. And I know here at these conventions we like to focus on the really cool vintage stuff. Are you playing anything modern right now?
As far as like modern goes, like I have a lot of friends that play like Call of Duty, Fortnite, stuff like that. Slowly starting to get back into that kind of stuff. Because I did that a lot in the early like 2010s, and I think it's a matter of just getting an Xbox again and start playing those games. And I think my friends would appreciate that,
Yeah.
It's not that they're not into like the retro stuff, because they like watching the stuff I put out and stuff. They just don't really know as much about it as I do. And whatnot, so, but yeah. As far as like modern gaming, and I do have, I'm a big PC guy too. I always have been, so I do enjoy most of the modern stuff. Like the what was it? They had I did buy a Nintendo Switch 2, so technically that's modern. So I play like the Donkey Kong Bonanza game is really good. And I got like Donkey Kong's probably my favorite Nintendo character of all time, because you had like the classics on the Super Nintendo, the 16-bit era. It's so yeah, as far as modern goes, I guess, yeah, I'm playing my Nintendo Switch Duel almost every night.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I love all the games I have on the Switch, but I haven't got a Switch 2 yet, and that Donkey Kong game looks awesome.
It is. It's worth buying. I think, in my opinion, if you're a true Nintendo fan, it's totally worth buying. But I recommend go with the Mario Kart bundle. Yeah, because then you get into like technically a free game bundled in there too. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, hey man, before we wrap this up and everything, remind our listeners, where can they go find you out on YouTube and social media and all these places?
So Instagram is real 16-bit Pete, all lowercase, and then on YouTube it's just youtube.com/16-bit Pete. Yeah, I think that's the only two I really use. Yeah, Instagram and YouTube. So
awesome. Well, hey man, listeners, go check him out if you haven't already. And Pete, thanks for stopping by today, man.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Yep. All right, thank you. All right, you guys, we are sitting here with our friend Derek, aka General Malice. How you been doing, man?
Man, Billy, I've been doing pretty good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, for our listeners who maybe they're new to our podcast, let these guys know, what are you all about, man? What is it that you do out there?
Oh, man. So, I am the owner of Malice Media LLC. I am a video game management company where I manage some of your favorite celebrity voice actors, legacy voice actors, and motion caption actors from the 80s and 90s and 2000s.
That's awesome. And obviously you've been on our show before. You were here last year at KC Retro and things like that. But tell us, what have you been up to this past year? What's been going on in Malice Media?
Oh, man. Well, see, since I've seen you last, I went to film school.
Oh, cool.
I filmed my first film. It's called Family Business. It's kind of cool. It's actually being toted to professional production companies, and it might actually be to a TV series near one day. We'll see. That'd be fun. But man, we've been just adding additional talent to the Malice Media family, which has been blowing me away how awesome these people are joining us.
Oh, that's really cool. So these people joining you, what kind of stuff are they working on, man?
Oh man, well, let's start off with new people from the series Silent Hill, the original video game from 1999 for PlayStation. So we have Thessaly Lerner. She is the ukulele on TikTok and Instagram and stuff. Very cool actress. She started doing voice work back in the 90s. And her latest movie that she was in, I don't know if anybody's seen it, it's called Sorry to Bother You, back in 2018. Very cool movie. But we're doing podcasts. She has she's going to kill me for not saying it right. Oh, I'm not going to say it. The Psychedelic Ladies podcast. Oh, I screwed it up. Anyway, it's all right. She'll let me fix it later. But besides that, we also have Michael Gwynn. He is the voice of Harry Mason and also the voice of Count Dracula for Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
That's cool.
Oh, and then Sandra Wayne. She is the voice of Elizabeth Gillespie and Cheryl Mason from the game as well. So super cool having these new IP fresh faces. They've only done 2 conventions since they've hit the scene this past year.
That's really cool. So obviously I follow you and the stuff you do, and tell us a little bit about this really kind of cool, kind of heartwarming story of the gentleman that you guys have been helping with his Jurassic Park collection and things like that.
Oh, so the clay collection. So we've been doing a lot of the almost kind of like an estate sale type thing, but it's not really. So I have interns from the University of Texas at Austin who are super awesome in the computer science program, and one of them goes to church and had a gentleman walk up to him and was like, hey, I have to sell a bunch of video games, and I think I'm gonna take them to the local game store and get rid of them. And he's like, no, before you do that, let us take a look at them. Maybe we can help you. My boss, he sells video games. So when I tell you that they brought to me the most pristine, beautiful collection I have ever seen, never had a scratch. It looks like someone opened up every single last title once and then closed it. And I'm not talking just NES, Super NES. I'm talking about like banger Sega Saturn, Radical Rex, banger Sega CD, and I mean, in abundance. So we were kind of floored. We explained to them the value of the collection, and went ahead and started working on getting them their money. Once we did all that and came good, they were like, hey, we got these other stuff. You kind of want to look at it? And so to kind of give you an idea, we call it the Clay collection, but Clay is a gentleman who's 75 years old. He is unfortunately in hospice with non-terminal dementia.
Okay.
So, and he has no family, no kids, no next of kin, no relatives. So he is basically would be a ward of the state.
Yeah.
And he would ultimately lose all his possessions if it wasn't for his awesome power of attorneys who were just friends from his church who happened to just get a chance to help him. So I'm working with them exclusively, and what we've done is we came to agree upon price, and we are pulling everything in. When I tell you this gentleman loved dinosaurs, I will not be mistaken to say he's probably the most dinosaur lover on earth. Clay was a double bachelor at a UT for computer science in the 50s into the 70s. He got his second degree and was working all in the computer space, building huge. I mean, his house is full of so many transformers and chips and everything. It's just such a great. Anyway, he saw the movie Jurassic Park in 1993, and we found this baggie, and his baggie has 285 ticket stubs for that movie, all in succession. Like, he watched it every day from the day it launched to 286 days later. He was so inspired by the movie Jurassic Park. I found his resume. He went back to UT for a third degree in biochemical engineering and DNA analysis. He was so ready to be the movie.
Yeah.
So, but he was so extravagant. I just wanted to give you the love for his dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
So he traveled the whole United States. He would go from Ontario to Arizona to California, all the way to Florida, and he would go to anywhere that had to do with dinosaurs, and he bought everything dinosaurs. And what ended up happening was, he was not beknownst to him, but he unwittingly bought and saved and created the time capsule, the most craziest Jurassic Park sealed and or new with tag apparel collection I've ever met. So on my eBay right now, we have over 6 figures and just t-shirts, brand new with tags. We've already sold about $18,000 worth.
Oh man, that's crazy.
In probably over 90 days. The movie did help. I'm not going to say that it didn't help. And we've been able to give them large chunks of money that he takes and they put into, goes to his name, into his accounts, and it's going to keep him in his stable nursing care facility in good standings and in good health for a long, long time.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then this dude has so much stuff, and so it's not just video games. I got a 900 Laserdisc collection. It's pristine. He has so many first edition books, token books. He's got. He used to be a game tester for TSR. So he's got all this old TSR, D&D stuff, Dragonlance, board games, statues, stamp collections, silver, gold, dinosaur bones. It's just, we got a lot of work to do for him.
Yeah. Anyone listening and hearing this story and maybe it's kind of touching them a little bit, where could they find your eBay page and look for some of this stuff?
So if you go on eBay, my store's name is called General Malice _ Malice Media LLC. It's pretty easy to find. If you just look up Jurassic Park, single stitch t-shirts, any of my pictures are always going to have a yardstick in it. It'd be pretty easy to discern from, and then you'll see my store on there as well.
Very cool.
And most proceeds go to Clay. Like we have until the debt's paid off, it goes to him.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, such a good cause. It's really cool. It must feel, well, obviously it's a cool story, but it must feel good, knowing you're helping this guy out and taking care of his end of life,
It does make me feel good, because here's the thing. He has no family, nothing, and that wasn't by his design. It just kind of happened. And, if I was in that situation, I would someone do it for me. Because ultimately, if something does happen to him, it all goes to the state.
Yeah.
The state takes it. And so what does that do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
And also, not only is he getting helped, this stuff is going into the hands of people who are going to love it. So that's another good benefit.
Yeah, go on. When you look on the eBay, if you go look at the feedback, there's one guy who gave me a negative because he was being a butt, because I knew it was targeted. But no, if you go on there, it shows you the care and the condition that the stuff was. The people are like, it looks like it was off the shelf. You can tell. Like, and the gentleman, he had the wherewithal to buy all this stuff when it was on sale at KB Toy Store. So you're looking at the Command Center, a $2,000 Kenner toy from 1992, still sealed, goes for $4,000, and he bought it for $17 half price or whatever.
That's so cool. I love stories like that. Well, hey, before we kind of wrap this up, let everyone know where can they go out there on social media and find you and your pages and everything, and YouTube and all that stuff.
So first and foremost, I would love for you to go to my website, malicemediallc.com. Type in Malice Media in Google, I'm the first person to pop up. You type in any of my talents, you will see us on their first page for booking, so please look for them. We are booking out the 30th anniversary of Resident Evil, and we've almost got the first quarter all booked out. So if you're looking to have some brand ambassadors for your convention and you want to have some people come out to the community and just bring awareness to you, give us a call or reach out. You know, my email, my phone number's on there. We're located in Austin, Texas, and we're all over the world. On top of that, you can find me on Instagram at General Malice _, all one word. TikTok, General _Malice. And on YouTube, at General Malice. I actually own that name.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, it's always a pleasure, and thanks so much for stopping by and sharing what's been going on.
Billy, man, we're going to be doing this again next year, and I'll probably have way more people to talk about then.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by, man.
Thank you, sir.
All right, guys, we are sitting here with Boogie2988 from Locale Live. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So, for our listeners out there who maybe they don't know what you do and all that good stuff, give us a little bit of a rundown of what you do.
Well, a little bit of a controversial figure for sure. I've been on the YouTube platform for like 18 years. I started my channel back in 2007, so I guess I'm one of the OGs. I guess what you call me, a lolcow, and that's somebody who's unable to keep from responding to like criticism on the internet and always respond to it very poorly. And in fact, I've recently turned that into a good thing by working with Keemstar and my friend Wings of Redemption to create a podcast network called the Lolcow Network.
Okay.
So we're basically just a bunch of unique, unusual people, maybe on the autism spectrum, maybe we're fat, maybe we're short, maybe we're weird, maybe we have unique interests and stuff like that. And we have 12 total shows that go around the clock 24 hours a day. And we're hiring a lot of unique and interesting people, and we kind of get bullied for a living. It's not too different, I think, of it was like P.T. Barnum's freak shows back in the day. Keemstar calls it monetizing the hate, and it's kind of what we do. But it's a lot of fun, actually, and I think a lot of people might enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, let's see, at a show like this where we are, KC Retro, when you think about your interests in this world, what kind of things do you play and collect and all that good stuff?
So I'm definitely hyper-focused on Magic the Gathering. I've been playing it since 1994, and I'm always looking for good deals at these booths for that. My first gaming system was an Atari 2600, and I'm proud to say that I've owned every gaming console, most of them when they were new, since the Atari 2600. My hyper focus in that area is probably the NES, SNES area. That just was fantastic. And as a Magic the Gathering collector, I don't have a lot of room for other things. So I did start collecting physical media at one point and realized if I'm going to do both, I'm just going to need a mansion.
Right.
Because I just couldn't store it all. So when I go to shows like this, I started selling my physical media and passing it on to collectors that I know will love it. But I'm still such a sucker for small artists and collectibles. And every time I get, any per diem or payment to come to these things, I just spend it on the floor and I go home with something somebody created and that they're proud of. And I either put it on the wall or put it on a shelf, or unfortunately, since I've bought so much over the years, they end up in the garage. But I have such a beautiful collection.
That's awesome. You mentioned the consoles you used to have. What were some of your favorite games when you started playing games way back in the day when you were a kid?
Final Fantasy blew my mind.
Oh, yeah.
Which was crazy. They just did a Magic the Gathering crossover with Final Fantasy. Magic has become kind of like the Fortnite of card games recently, which is controversial for the community, but they're selling.
Oh, yeah.
Bringing a lot of new people into the game, which I'm grateful for as someone who has every card and will buy every card. It just makes my collection more valuable as more people come into the game, and I'm happy to pass those cards on to players. Zelda was just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I remember playing Adventure on the Atari 2600 and not really understanding because I was so young, right? But I was really attracted to that ideal of an adventure-style role-playing game fighting dragons. And when I played Zelda on the NES, it melted my brain.
Yeah.
When I played Final Fantasy on the NES, it was even more amazing.
Yeah.
And to this day, when a turn-based JRPG comes out, I try to play it day one. as long as it's decent. The Disgaea series was more tactical, but I did enjoy that. I definitely enjoyed the Persona series. Oh my god, I was late to the game for that, but I played through Persona 5 Royale 4 times, just like getting different experiences each time. But any role-playing game, you know. And there's a part of me that still loves Dungeons and Dragons to this day, though I just can never find a good group.
Yeah.
It's so hard to find, as an adult, especially as we're all moving on later in life, we're starting our families and focusing on our careers. But any role-playing game is my ish.
That's awesome. Our listeners know I don't play tons of games. I'm busy. I'm a busy guy. And
Yep.
But every time a new Legend of Zelda game comes out, I have to play it. I have to, no matter what. That's my world right there in the world of games.
Not Breath of the Kingdom, the previous one, Breath of the Wild.
Yes, yeah.
When Breath of the Wild dropped, and I played it, it was one of the most epic moments of my life because I remember playing the original Legend of Zelda on the NES when it was new.
Yeah.
My mom's boyfriend shoplifted that for me, by the way. That's an interesting story. But I got it home and I played it and it melted my brain. And then I always searched for the game that recreated that feeling.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I played Breath of the Wild that I felt exactly the same as 8-year-old and 10-year-old me felt when he put that cartridge into the system. Breath of the Wild was the perfect game, and I have a lot of recency bias when it comes to my favorite game of all time, but right now to this day I think Breath of the Wild is still my favorite game of all time, just because I never thought I would get that feeling again. And that's what's so interesting about these retro conventions is everybody in here in this room, a lot of us are dragons and we're just collecting for a horde and we're swapping a horde, and most of us don't have time to play the games we collect. We don't even have time to look at them, right? But the having is so nice. It's so nice to just have it. That's the thing I wanted when I was a kid. I have it now, right? But we're all chasing that dopamine hit that we had when we were teenagers and playing these games for the first time. And that was the only time as an adult I've gotten that specific dopamine hit. And I can die happy now. I was like so glad I got it back.
I think it's funny you put into words exactly how I felt about that game. And then when Tears of the Kingdom came out, I love that it was just a continuation of it, pretty much is what I felt like.
Absolutely. And just I'm so glad they innovated as much as they did, because they didn't really have to, right? They didn't have to triple the size of the map or give us 2 more maps. They didn't have to. They could have recycled it, and we would all have bought it anyway. It could have been another Mario Kart world where we just bought it to buy it, right?
Yeah.
It's not that good, but I bought it, you know. Nintendo can do no wrong, I think, even to this day. Like, we'll complain about it, but we'll still give them the money.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, the innovation on that game was ridiculous.
Yeah. So you probably already answered it, because usually my follow-up question is, now in the modern gaming world, what do you love to play? And it sounds like Tears of the Kingdom. And
I try to play everything. My current hyper-focus is Fallout 76, and I know a lot of people are going to laugh when they hear that, because when that game launched, it was a nightmare. It was a garbage fest. And it almost destroyed one of the best gaming companies of all time, Bethesda, right? And it certainly destroyed their reputation.
Yeah.
And they've done very little to recover it since then. But the Fallout 76 team, it's a Bethesda team, so the game is always buggy. The game has always gotten broken material. They're always making weird decisions. It's also a MMO light, right? So they're always making weird decisions that screws over the player base to some degree. So you have to be expecting that. But they added so much content to that game that when the Fallout show came out last year, as a huge Fallout fan, I had to watch it.
Yeah.
And that got me back into the game. So I played through New Vegas again. I played through Fallout 4 again. And I was just out of Fallout games. So I'm like, I guess I'll boot up 76. I own it.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be incredible. It's exactly what I wanted. A real sense of community in that game, a ton of story-based content, a ton of MMO light events that you can participate in, constant seasons and content being added. So that's my hyper-focus right now. But I try to play everything. If it comes out and I can afford to play it, I'll buy it and I'll try to play it.
That's awesome. On a similar note, I mentioned I don't play tons of games, but I have to play Zelda. But I had a coworker who was adamant that my family and my kids, we all play Stardew Valley. Have you tried that one?
Oh my gosh. So I played it really early on, and I was blown away by it. I thought it was fantastic. It was a little slow paced for what I wanted, but I do love cozy games quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it was really cozy. Just boot up and mess around and meet people and go on with my farm. And now it's almost a completely different game because he continues to just never stop working.
Yeah.
And he has added so much to that game that if I went back to it now, it would be a completely different experience.
Yeah.
And I keep waiting. I'm like, well, when he's done with it, I'll go back.
Yep. I think we started playing it around April, and it was our hyperfixation, our whole family, till about July. And feel like we've done just about all we can do. And then I think about a week ago, he announced, I'm adding a little bit more.
Yeah, and he's a machine. He'll never stop.
And he never charges us, and that's the cool part.
There's another game developer. I guess I should give a shout out to my friend Edmund McMillan. He's the creator of Binding of Isaac, if you know that game.
Okay.
One of those games that you literally can spend 1,000,000 years playing it. Some people have played it literally for 10,000 hours and still not discovered every item combination and everything you can do. If you check out Northern Lion on YouTube, I think he's on an episode of Binding of Isaac, like episode 2000 at this point.
Okay.
And Edmund is constantly working on his games, constantly has teams working on them, adding content, adding expansions. He's got a new game coming out in February called Mugenics, which is a tacticals-based game using cats.
Okay.
And I will warn everybody listening, Edmund does have a bit of an edge to his content. His art style is pretty edgy. If you know Binding of Isaac, you know what I'm talking about. So Mugenics, from the name alone, you should probably take you off. It's a little bit on the edgy side, right?
Yeah.
But certainly politically correct still. But it is about breeding cats and then battling cats with other cats. And his first gameplay video of it just went up. But I'm actually in the game.
Oh, nice.
I got to voice one of the 30, 50 cat voices that are in the game. So if you do play that, you might hear my Francis character go meow at some point. All indie developers really deserve your money in this field.
Yeah.
I do genuinely believe, and I'm biased because I did gaming news for 7 years on my YouTube channel. A lot of the game creators in the AAA space now are just utterly creatively bankrupt. And they're creating video games based on data-driven information. And then they release a game like Concord, and it utterly fails, and they don't understand why, because the data told them that was going to be a good game.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. The problem is they don't create games with heart. Mugenics, Binding of Isaac, Stardew Valley, these games have such incredible heart and passion put into them.
Yeah.
And it's made by someone who genuinely believes in his idea and genuinely believes in what he's creating. And not every indie game is good, but certainly you have a higher tier of quality than you do with AAA gaming these days. And I cannot stress enough, like just the same way I like to spend my money here with small businesses at these types of events. If an indie game comes out and it even gets on my radar, I'll buy it. Whether it's a Vampire Survivors clone, whether it's a Binding of Isaac clone, it doesn't matter. If you created a game and it gets on my radar, I'll play it just because somebody believed in what they were making, and AAA game companies no longer do.
Well, cool, man. One last time before we kind of wrap up here, tell our listeners where can they go out there and find you on social media, YouTube, and all the places.
My primary YouTube channel is pretty much dead these days. If I do anything there, it's unboxing Magic cards just for fun. My primary focus right now is on the Lolcow Live Network. Don't forget, if you are a younger audience, and probably you want to ask mom or dad before you tune into what we create. We do create things with an edge.
Yeah.
And we do create things with some coarse language. In fact, it's really tough for me to watch my language today because I'm just so used to being a complete piece of crap on the internet so that we can monetize the hate. It's nice to actually sit down and be a good guy for a change.
Awesome.
So, I really appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, well, thanks for stopping by. And yeah, listeners, go check them out. Kids, ask mom and dad, but go check these guys out. It sounds like a lot of fun.
We'll see you there.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Hey guys, it's Billy here, and we are sitting down with Mr. Joe Sullivan, also known as Retro Game Hunter. How you doing, man?
Hey man, good morning, Billy. I'm really glad to be here with you. Thanks for inviting me out.
Yeah, awesome. So for our listeners who are listening right now, and maybe they don't know a whole lot about what you do and the things you bring to the table in this world of video games and everything, tell us, what do you do? What are you all about, man?
Yeah, so I guess my biggest thing gaming-wise that I'm about right now, so I manage a traveling video game museum. It's called the Retro Game Hunter Traveling Gaming Museum. And we have been lucky enough to be guests at shows literally from coast to coast. We've done events from Florida to California, all over the place in between. And we specialize in bringing not just like a timeline of like, oh, in 1985, the Famicom was released, or 1983, yeah, in Japan, 1985 in the US. But we specialize in like weird gaming history and stories and like the kinds of things maybe you'd see online but never think you get a chance to see in person, or even maybe try in person, or maybe stuff you didn't realize existed altogether. And we take a lot of pride in, again, bringing those unique kinds of experiences to these sorts of events all over the country.
Oh, that's really cool. Now, I know we're audio, not video, but can you tell our listeners a little bit about what you've brought to this show in your traveling museum?
Yeah. So we brought out, we've got 4 8-foot tables that we have on display right now, which feature a variety of things from multiple collectors too. So, and just to give a little more background on the museum itself, this isn't just, a single personal collection. I've been lucky enough over the years to network with a few dozen different collectors, and so we have multiple people's personal items on display upstairs right now, which is fantastic. Some of them are local to the Kansas City area here, and really they're excited to see their stuff kind of on display and being able to have those stories shared with all the attendees here too. But so we have a variety of really rare import items up there, including a lot of fun, goofy, rare Japanese and South American, even European imports. Some of my favorite ones to show off, though, and really share, we have 2 Sega Master System games up there that are from Brazil that were produced by a company called Tectoy. They're licensed Sega games down in Brazil that were produced in the late 90s for the Sega Master System, which is way beyond the lifespan of where this console was anywhere else. And that is Street Fighter II and Mortal Kombat 3. Which nobody would have thought that you would see that stuff on these consoles that late, and it really, we get a great reaction when people take a moment, they go, wait, what? What's going on here? And a few times we pulled them out of the cases to show them. At the end of the day, they were ports of the Game Gear versions over, but the Master System was largely running the same kind of hardware capabilities as the Game Gear, so it was an easy thing for the Brazilian Tectoy company to do.
Oh, cool.
So 2 of the other items that we have up there that have been absolutely huge draws. One of the rarest items, probably a holy grail type item for PS1 collectors we have upstairs right now, in a case and a lock, so don't get any ideas. We have an Elemental Gearbolt Assassin's case.
Okay.
And what that is, this was a promotional item that was sent out to media members and contest prize winners. It's not quite like, more like an aluminum briefcase that you open this up, and inside there is a golden PS1 gun con, like an actual gold paint plated one, but it really pops, it catches the eye, as well as a gold painted memory card and a copy of the amazing, really underrated game Elemental Gearbolt, which, for anybody not familiar with it, it's like a rails shooter that included heavy RPG elements, and it's kind of combination you really haven't seen anywhere else since. But this briefcase is absolutely gorgeous. The PS1 collectors that go off after high-end stuff are very familiar with it, and we've gotten a very positive reaction to everybody that's come by. But it's beautifully embossed on the outside too, with the Elemental Gearbolt logo, and it's just it's a really eye-catching piece. We have it upstairs, again, in a display case on a spinner, so we can kind of take it around and show everybody all sides of it and share that story. Now, one of the other really cool items that we have up there, we have also, and I'm not going to run through every single one of them, but we have a Mega Man 9 press kit. And so Mega Man 1 through 6 were on the NES, and 7 was on Super Nintendo, 8 moved to the 32-bit consoles on PS1 and Sega Saturn. Now, Mega Man 9, Capcom decided to go kind of back to the more traditional 8-bit art style, 8-bit roots, to include some of that, your imagery from like the original NES Mega Man 1 and 2 days, where you had this like super realistic human-looking man with a gun. So they went back to that art style. They worked with Gerald DeJesus, was the artist that kind of recreated those, who did Mega Man 9, 10, as well as like the DuckTales remastered art. He had a great working relationship with Capcom. Really cool guy too. We've worked with him on a few things also. But so this press kit was created to look like an NES box, like a classic Mega Man 1 style NES box with this old looking style artwork, and inside it had a cartridge that didn't actually have the game, but the cartridge itself opened up and included a disc with visual assets and things like that for people to check out. That was sent directly from Capcom to media members to kind of like hype up the game, and it went on to become sort of this legendarily cool item too in its own right. And we happen to know the one that we have on display upstairs was literally, again, one sent from Capcom directly to one of those media members, not something that's kind of floated around in the secondhand market. So we've been thrilled to have the opportunity to display and share that story too.
Oh, that's really cool. Mega Man was one of my favorite games as a kid, so it's really cool to learn a little bit about that. I didn't know that, so that's cool. Well, tell our listeners a little bit about what they can find if they go over to your social media page.
So we don't have a YouTube yet. It's something I've been asked to do quite a bit, but we keep the inventory that we have in the museum very secretive, I guess. We don't tell people what we have, and that's why I only ran down a few items for you. Because we like to have the wow factor of you never know what you're going to see.
Gotcha.
We have about 25% of our inventory on display at the show here, but if we come back next year, we guarantee there's going to be a lot of different stuff up there that we expect to have a similar kind of impact on folks that come through. And with the number of shows that we do, we just like to make sure that we keep stuff fresh. But I am on Instagram at retro.game.hunter.
Okay.
That is my Instagram handle. On there, you'll find I'm not posting museum items, but I am trying to post other unique sort of gaming-related stuff. I'm also a huge gaming music collector. I collect albums. I collect video game sheet music. I play piano and guitar and all that. And so I've got probably about 200 licensed sheet music books for video game soundtracks and stuff like that, which I really enjoy playing too. So I show some of that stuff on there, soundtracks, and then other kind of like oddities and just weird things that we've enjoyed. For instance, I've got a few photos on my Instagram chronicling Square, at the time just Square, between Squaresoft and Square Enix, where they were re-releasing like effectively greatest hits editions of their PS1 games in Japan, part of what was called the Square Millennium series. And each of these gigantic boxes included, the disc in a jewel case, but you had a lot of other just kind of off-the-wall, bizarre extra items that came with them. So Saga Frontier 1 and 2 each came with like a teacup and a little saucer that was like not hand painted. It looks like hand painting, but I'm sure it's just printed like images on there. The Final Fantasy Tactics had, I believe, an alarm clock with it, but they're like pretty hefty looking boxes. They stand out really well on the shelf, and it was just a lot of this just strange, kooky, Japanese way of let's combine some of these things together in an unusual way. So I've got a lot of photos of that on there too.
Oh, cool. The last question I'll ask you, I guess it's a two-part question.
Yep.
When you kind of began, I'm guessing as a young kid, getting into this world of video games, what was your favorite game to play when you were a kid? And then let's fast forward to now, what kind of things are you currently playing?
Yeah, so my favorite game of all time was Final Fantasy III on the Super Nintendo, or the North American, so Final Fantasy VI, in Japan. And I that was the first RPG to really draw me in. I loved the music, I loved the characters, I loved the iconic kind of storyline with it. It's something I still go back and play today from time to time and really enjoy. I have a lot of fond memories. The characters in it just absolutely blew me away, and Square hasn't quite gotten back to that same point where you have such a varied cast with everybody having a unique skill and something they're bringing to the table to make them, effective in what you're trying to do. And that is my all-time favorite game. That's held that spot for a very long time. I particularly, again, another fun bit of trivia, the first print of the game in North America has a famous glitch where if you sketch a certain character after they get vanished, the game just freaks out, and certain items in your inventory will multiply to 255, so there's a way to spam it to get items you're only supposed to have one of to all of a sudden now you can equip everybody with this kind of stuff. But so I specifically say the Final Fantasy III North American first print. The games that I'm playing right now, I'm very lucky. I've got a 3-year-old and an 8-year-old. My 8-year-old loves to play with me. She has a great imagination, and we play a lot of games together with her, kind of pretending that she's part of the action, which is great. We've been working through, most recently, Lies of P on PS5, which we've enjoyed immensely together, and that's what I really enjoy, the Soulsborne type games. I did just download with everybody else to really plant the flag on where we're at right now in history when we look back on this a few years. Silksong just came out too for $20, and I couldn't say no to that too, so that's one of my guilty pleasures that I'm playing right now while I have a little bit of downtime here at the show.
Awesome. Well, hey man, thanks for stopping by and telling us a little bit about what you do, and remind our listeners one more time, where can they find you out on social media?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at retro.game.hunter.
Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by, man.
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, that was our time at KC Retro 2025. We hope you guys that had a chance to come down were able to find some really cool stuff to add to your collection. I'm sure you found a great game that you were looking for, or some collectible. There was a little bit of something for everybody. We had a great time talking with all the folks here, and yeah, make sure you guys keep an eye out for KC Retro 2026. Follow their social media, follow their website, and you're not going to want to miss it. It's a great time. The value of what you get by coming here is great. The arcade alone is worth the price of admission to get to play those games unlimited, nonstop, the whole day. So just for that, it's worth it. And then on top of that, you got all these really awesome vendors and guests, and it's just a great time, guys. So look them up, find their information, make sure you mark your calendars to come next year. But hey, ask for us here at the Taylorverse. I've been Billie Taylor, and come back next week, guys. Same Taylor time, same Taylor channel. Bye.